vulnerable box.
So that brings us to guest stealer here. That can't be right. My clock says 6:34. Wow, we've only been talking for 4 minutes. So that brings us to guest stealer. So what is guest stealer? It's a Perl script that remotely steals virtual machines from vulnerable hosts. We built in support for server, ESX, and ESXi. And it basically allows you to select which guest you want to steal. I talked before, it's good to be root. It's also good to know where the default configuration files are in boxes because you can just get them and parse them.
Ta-da! So basically, this is the configuration file. It's a nicely formatted XML file. I don't know if you guys can actually read that, but next to the red arrows, you'll see an element called VMX config path. And basically, that tells you the exact path to the VMX file, as well as to the other files. And basically, this gives us the guest inventory, as well as the location information. All right, so when you open up that VMX file that the previous file gave you the location for, you'll notice that the VMX file will give you the location of the VMDK. And then on top of that, the VMDK will also point to other VMDKs. So for example, when you went through and set up your guest, you may have chosen to do it in a sparse method. So instead of having one large, say, 20 gigabyte VMDK, you wanted to split it up into, say, 10 2-gig files. This will give you the locations for them.
For those of you who don't know, VMDK is like the virtual hard disk of the virtual machine. So we're at live demo time. So here goes nothing, right? No, it should work. All right, so what I'm going to do first, and this is going to be weird because I'm holding a microphone at the same time, is I'm going to log into this box I have here next to me via crossover cable. I'm going to log into that and show you that I actually have a VM running. Did it go to sleep on me? That's fantastic.
I want the drive.
There he goes. There he goes.
Can you stand up so that we can see you? All right, come see me afterward to get the drive.
All right, well, this is fantastic. I probably tried this demo like 300 times, and it worked. I guess I can do one more thing here, Tony, if you hold my microphone for me, since we've gone pretty quick.
All right, so while he's doing that, some of the future enhancements that we have planned for this tool is, right now the way that it works is you provide it with an IP address as well as a bunch of other configurations, such as like the port number, and it attacks that one system. Basically, it'll grab that inventory and it'll tell you which guests you can steal. But in the future, what I would like to do is expand it into a type of scanner so that you can run this across an entire network. And so instead of listing just the guests on that one machine that you pointed out, it can list the different guests on every vulnerable system on your environment. Question?
Yeah, have you written it in an Nagios plugin so you can see not only what was there, but the virtuals that it finds?
Sorry, I apologize.
Could you write it as a Nagios plugin, or Nessus plugin, or something like that, so you can not only find VMs that are vulnerable, but also virtuals that it sees?
So the question was, can we write this as a Nessus plugin? And
Or Nmap, that's even better, yeah.
or Nmap, and that's a definite possibility. As you saw, I mean, the way to actually exploit it is, I mean, it's fairly configurable. So.
Did you guys test Tor?
Sorry, what's that?
Tor 1?
They're not vulnerable. If you go back to the vulnerable,
List, it wasn't on there.
Yeah, it wasn't on there. We tested it. It was actually remediated between update 3 and update 4. So physical layer, somehow it got unplugged. That's fantastic. All right, so it's logging in now, thankfully. So there's my running box, Ubuntu 804S, right? So I'll go down here, I'll do a PWD. You'll see that I'm in users, my name, documents, virtual machine. And what I'll do is I'll do ls-l, and you'll see that I have my ESX box that I tested there, the guest stealer program, and my VMware log from the ESX box in that directory as well. So what I'll do now is I'll actually just run guest stealer and type in the IP address that you can see above there in the URL and location bar for Firefox. It's 192.168.111.2. And I will go ahead and do 82.22. You can go ahead and do all this stuff with the command line. I just wanted to show how easy it is to use. I mean, it basically just says here, fill in the blank. And it's a server. Oh, sever. Hunt and peck. Okay, so there you go. It pulled down the VM inventory.xml file and said, okay, I only have one server on here, but if there's more, it'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So I want to go ahead and steal 0. And where do I want to put it? You can put a full path in there. I'm going to do just a dot, and that's going to put it in the working directory that I'm currently in. And there it goes. It's stealing the VMX, parsed it, identified the VMDK file, stole the NVRAM, the VMXF file, and now it's stealing the VMDK file. It's roughly 500 megabytes, so I think in the test we got it down, it's like 37 seconds. So this is when Tony was supposed to talk about the future enhancements, but okay, so it's done. So I'll go over to here, into Fusion, which is a fantastic product that I love. Go to open. Oh, here it is. So my Ubuntu box, I'll go ahead and click open. This is fantastically difficult. Hit the play button. I moved it. There it goes. I mean, it's booting, so. I mean, that's really how easy it is.
All right, so what you should do about it. So the most obvious answer is patch. VMware has fixed this vulnerability, so apply the patch, upgrade, so on and so forth. Better yet, and the actually recommended method by VMware. If you go back to the timeline slide, then you might start thinking, well, I couldn't apply a patch for 5 months in between when they're first notified about it and when they actually released the patch. So what do you do if you've got a vulnerable system?
Not to mention that, not to cut you off, but not to mention that I found this in a really stupid, embarrassing way. So somebody else probably knew about this vulnerability before I did.
So in any case, segment. So what you want to do, segment your management interfaces.
This was actually, to cut off Tony again because I'm rude like that, but this was actually VMware's recommended response was to segment the console interface network. So, but it would be my recommendation as well.
Segment systems of different security levels. Don't share physical NICs between different security levels. So again, it's all about the segmentation. It's all about defense in depth. But then just to go on to a virtualization soapbox, it's not always the best answer, right? Do you want to put your most critical systems in a virtualized environment? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when you do, just understand that there are going to be risks with doing so.
Right. I mean, it basically adds another layer, right? People are, tend to think, okay, software, hardware. Now there's the VMware in the middle, right? So you need to make sure that you address all three layers, if you will. So that's it. Even with the snafu, I guess we still made it within time. Are there any other questions?
Did we miss the CVE number for the vault?
Wow, I didn't include that. It's 2009-3733. I'll go ahead and pull it back up. The question was, did he miss the CVE number? Yeah, here it is. That's right, the play button's here. All right. So, 2009-3733. In the back? They're not vulnerable. They fixed that before. The question was, are ESX4 and vSphere vulnerable? They are not. Okay, so the question was, did I see any stability issues when I was stealing the guest? The question is no, on top of, except for in the case of server, just dealing with the web UI through the browser, I had issues, but when I was using the Perl script, it was responsive all the time. I tested it with files of 500 megabytes, which is what we did here, a gig, 2 gigs, up to 10 gigs, and I didn't have any issues. So it seems to work pretty well. Again, it's a Perl script, so if you find that it doesn't, you can improve it yourself. But if you do, let me know. That'd be kind of